How are we going to turn this Skyline sitting behind me into the most screen-accurate Fast and Furious 4 hero car ever built? Because right now, it's kind of a mess. It's multicolored, and a lot of the parts that made the original movie car iconic don't even exist anymore. Welcome back to Just Driven. The story behind this car actually started a few years ago. For a long time, I've been searching for another R34 Skyline for myself. Originally, I had planned to buy a GTR. In fact, the first one I picked out ended up going to a friend of ours, that twin-turbo Greddy V-Spec build you've seen on this channel. Once that car was spoken for, I went back on the hunt for another one. And if you've spent any time searching for R34s lately, you know how difficult that can be. Most of the cars available are kind of thrashed, heavily modified, the wrong color, or they're selling for absolutely insane money, or at least the really clean ones are. And during that whole process, I kept thinking back to a Skyline I used to own years ago, a red GTT. And honestly, that car was one of the most fun Skylines I've ever driven. It was lighter than a GTR, a little more tail happy, and just a really engaging car to drive. So when this GTT became available, the original plan was simple: bring it into the US and build my own personal Skyline. And at that time, I hadn't even really decided what color I wanted, what it was gonna look like, what options. It was gonna be a red or a yellow or something unique. But then something happened that completely changed the direction of this project. Back in 2023, the original Fast and Furious 4 Skyline hero car sold at auction for over $1.3 million. The car sold through Bonhams, and seeing it resurface after all those years brought back a lot of memories. During the production of the Fast and Furious 4, I was involved with a lot of the cars surrounding that film. Paul Walker and I had become friends through the car world. He would come by my shop pretty regularly. At the time, I was actually storing several of his personal cars. One of them was his white R34 GTR V-Spec 2. That car had been sitting at an indoor karting track and it wasn't running properly, so we kind of arranged to have it picked up and brought over to my shop. Once it was there, we sorted out the mechanical issues and got the car running the way it should. And at the time, the car had graphics all over it. HKS logos, Tomei logos, a lot of tuner graphics from that era. And while the car was at my shop, we actually removed all those graphics. I still have photos of the car sitting there while the vinyl was being actually peeled off. Paul would come by the shop pretty often while we were working on things. Sometimes he'd just stop in to check on the cars. Other times he'd bring his daughter, Meadow. She was just a little kid at the time, and we'd hang out at the shop and talk cars. He was just a genuinely good guy. During the filming of the Fast and Furious 4, he actually asked me if I could bring one of my cars down to the set. At the time, I had purchased a couple right-hand drive R35 GTRs that a friend imported that weren't even available here in the USA yet. In fact, we didn't see the R35 until '09. These were '08s. He thought it would be cool if I brought one down while they were filming. They were shooting scenes in downtown Los Angeles, not far from the original Toretto house. The scene where Dominic and Brian met Braga in the bar. The whole neighborhood was shut down by LAPD for filming. I drove the R35 down to the set and parked it right in front of the production cars. The Bayside Blue Skyline hero car was sitting there as well. So Paul came over, saw the R35, and asked if he could take it out for a drive. We ended up ripping up and down the streets of Los Angeles because the entire area was closed off for filming. It was so much fun, blasting around downtown with one of the first R35 GTRs in the country. Those were really great memories. So when I saw the Fast and Furious Skyline go up for auction in 2023, it just brought all of that back, all those memories. And standing here now in a warehouse full of Fast and Furious builds, it started to feel like the Skyline project needed to become something more. Instead of just building another personal R34, maybe we should recreate the Fast and Furious 4 hero car. Here's an interesting detail that a lot of fans may not realize. In the movie, there was actually only one real GTR hero car used for the primary shots. Several of the other cars used during filming were GTTs that had been modified to look like GTRs. And I will tell you, heavily modified. One was actually used for all of the major stunt scenes, like driving down a flight of stairs. And it was handed off to a custom shop where they basically turn it into a sandrail. They installed a VW motor in the trunk, and an entire roll cage was built and seamed into this GTT body, and then it was dressed to look like my hero car. It was so surreal opening up the trunk and seeing a VW motor. I mean, the thing made a whopping 85 to 100 horsepower, but it accomplished the goal, and that is driving down a flight of stairs in the scenes where the car was jumping from alley to alley and across major streets. The buggy car is what we called it, was used for those scenes. So those were some really fun times. The other GTTs were made to look exactly like the GTR using East Bear Body Kit, which was a company in Japan at the time that would take your GTT, and it made very specific parts that would bolt onto your GTT to give it a GTR look. They made a fake GTR wing, they made fake GTR side skirts that fit onto a GTT. It was the skinnier brother of the GTR, but if you squinted your eyes a little bit, kind of looked like a GTR. And ultimately, the studio didn't want to spend the money because there was going to be a lot of very spirited driving in this movie, and they didn't want to go out and buy 4 or 5 GTRs. And quite frankly, GTRs were getting expensive at the time. It just made sense to do it to GTTs. And if you watch the movie closely, there are actually a few scenes where you can see the instrument cluster inside the car. And for those of you who know Skylines well, you'll immediately recognize something. It's a GTT cluster, not the GTR cluster. For the build, we're actually going to embrace that detail because this car started life as a GTT. The reality is the GTT driving experience is actually something I personally enjoy more than a GTR. They're lighter, a little more playful, and just really fun to drive. But visually, the GTR is the car everyone remembers, and it happens to be the one I love the most. So the goal with this build is to combine those two worlds, and we got extremely lucky with the foundation we started with. Before this car was imported into the United States, a professional shop in Japan performed a full OEM GTR wide body conversion. And they didn't do it with fiberglass overlays or bolt-on panels. They used real factory Nissan parts. OEM GTR rear quarter panels, OEM GTR front fenders, OEM inner and outer wheel wells, OEM taillight bezels, all professionally welded and finished by a shop in Japan. The quality of the work is incredible. The shop even installed a brand new OEM GTR hood, but we're actually going to be selling that hood because we won't be using it on this build. Instead, we're installing the East Bear hood. And that part turned out surprisingly difficult to track down. Luckily, a good friend of mine, Alvin, is one of the owners of Aerolux Automotive Boutique. They offer the ESB hood, which stands for East Bear, on their website for people building similar cars. So we were able to secure one of those for this project. We'll be also including a link to his site in the description. Up front, we'll be installing a factory Nismo S-Tune bumper, which is correct to the movie car, along with the lower splitter and Nismo side skirts. And one interesting detail a lot of people miss, the Hero car did not have matching rear spats. That normally go with those skirts, so we'll be leaving those off to stay true to the movie car. And then there's the wheel issue. So the original Hero car ran Volk RE30s in a very specific 19 by 11 configuration. Pretty wide, even for a GTR. Those wheels are basically impossible to find today. So after a lot of conversations with my friend Jack over at VR Wheels, we're actually having those wheels reproduced to match the exact specifications of the original movie car. And once we had solutions for the wheels, the hood, the body components, and the display system, which I will go into in another video, we realized something. This build was actually possible. Mechanically, we're starting with the RB25 that came with this GTT, and it is still installed in the car, the Neo motor. For now, we're going to keep that engine in place and clean it up the way we did our Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline. That means dressing the RB25 to resemble the RB26 using the proper timing cover and components. We'll keep the single turbo configuration rather than twin turbos. Down the road, we may explore some even more aggressive ideas for the drivetrain, possibly removing the 2.8 liter RB, which is in our R33 GTR, because it has a little bit of a valve train issue. Have that rebuilt, push that up to 800 horsepower. We've even talked about experimenting with a BMW dual clutch transmission. But for now, the mission is simple. Recreate the Fast and Furious 4 Skyline as accurately as possible. The stance, the wheels, the body, the interior details, and bring back one of the most iconic skylines ever seen on film. In the upcoming videos, we're going to take you through every step of the build process. So please make sure you're a subscriber and set the bell notification so that you're reminded every time a new video comes out. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.